Rapido just did something unexpected. They have partnered with Goibibo, ConfirmTkt and Redbus, which means that starting now, you can book trains, buses, flights and even hotels directly from the Rapido's app. And this comes just weeks after they launched their new food delivery platform. Now at first glance, this looks like a smart expansion, like Rapido is trying to become India's next big super app. But if you have been following their story closely, you know this might actually be Rapido's riskiest move ever. Welcome to our weekly Indian startup news show. I'm Pankaj, your host, and you're watching Backstage with Millionaires, a channel that's also part of Zerodha's 01 network. Now, to understand why this move is risky, you first need to know how Rapido got here. Back in 2015, when Ola and Uber were fighting in India's ride-hailing space, both companies had one thing in common. They were focused on cars. And that was mainly because they were trying to bring the Western concept of cab hailing to India. But in a country where the majority of people use a two-wheeler, Rapido's founders saw a unique opportunity. They realized two things. One, people would choose a bike taxi if it were more affordable. And two, there were millions of two-wheeler owners who would be happy to earn extra income if given a platform. And that insight became Rapido's entire business. Their sole focus on two-wheelers helped them create a new market. And by the year 2020, they were present in 400 plus cities with over 1 million bike captains on their platform. But getting there was not easy. They fought regulatory battles in almost every state. And at one point, bans in places like Karnataka and Tamil Nadu threatened to wipe out their entire business. But Rapido persisted. They lobbied, partnered with local authorities, and slowly built a reputation for being the bike taxi company that actually worked. And that laser focus on one niche, one problem and one category is what helped Rapido to build a big business in a small vertical. But here is the thing about startups that create new categories. Eventually that growth curve flattens. You run out of new cities to expand to. And for Rapido, that moment is now. See, the ride-hailing market in India is growing at just 7 to 9% annually, compared to 30 to 40% growth in the early years. Even Ola's FY24 revenue dropped by nearly 10%, which shows that this is not just Rapido's problem, it's the entire category maturing. So now Rapido needs something new to maintain its growth rate. Also, it has to give an exit to its early investors. And for that, it needs to raise money from the new ones. See, in the venture capital world, funds have a life cycle of 7 to 10 years. Which means they need an exit around this time, and Rapido is now 10 years old. It was started in 2015, so the company is now looking to raise money in order to give an exit to its early investors. And according to news reports, Rapido is looking to raise a massive funding round of $550 million, almost 5,000 crore rupees. And obviously, the new investor who would agree to invest this money would want the company to keep growing and going after newer markets. See, one of the potential investors in this deal is Prosus, which has made great returns from its investment in companies like Swiggy and Urban Company. And the fund is now looking to do the same with Rapido. It would want Rapido to keep growing at a 50 to 60% rate every year, which would allow the fund to get an exit either at the time of IPO or after that. And which is why Rapido is now getting into all these new verticals. Now on paper, it does sound smart. India's travel market is worth over 5.8 trillion rupees or almost $72 billion. And most of it is still unorganized. Now, Rapido already has an active user base of 50 million people, and a big chunk of these people are from Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities, exactly the next wave of digital consumers. So if Rapido can cross-sell travel to these audience, then the upside could be massive. But the question is, can the company do it? See, just a couple of months back, Rapido had launched its food delivery service with a big fanfare. But now no one really knows what's happening with it. News articles show that it is still in its pilot phase, which means that the company is still figuring it out. On top of that, the company has now entered into a completely new market of travel. Yes, I know it's partnering up with players like Goibibo and Redbus, but what I don't understand is what's the incentive for users to book these services from Rapido? Just because you have 50 million monthly users does not mean that those same people will use your other offerings as well. I mean, we have seen a lot of super apps failing in India, like Tata Neu and Paytm. So what will Rapido do differently? That's the thing to look forward to. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. Can Rapido pass over its trust from ride-hailing to all these new categories? Or is it a big risk that can turn out to be a big mistake for the company? Alright, next up, India might finally have its own answer to Google Maps. An app called Mappls is trying to do it, and it has just become the #1 navigation app on the Apple App Store. And what's interesting is this is not just another app going viral. This feels like part of something much bigger. See, a few weeks back we saw the government's push for Arattai, the Swadeshi version of WhatsApp. And then we saw ministers push for Zoho's mail service, including Home Minister Amit Shah. And now government officials, including IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw, are calling Mappls a great Indian app and encouraging people to download it. It's almost like a quiet digital Swadeshi wave is starting to form. And Mappls is not trending just because it's Indian. It's actually really cool when you use it. Firstly, it's built by MapmyIndia, a company that's been mapping Indian roads since the 1990s, way before Google Maps was even a thing. And they've built Mappls specifically for India. In this app, you get navigation in 9 Indian languages. And then there is accurate lane level guidance on tricky service roads, and even real-time signal countdowns at 169 traffic junctions in Bengaluru. Also, it warns you about speed breakers, sharp turns, and even gives you toll and fuel cost estimates before you start your trip. And for places without clear addresses, it gives you a Mappls ID, a unique digital address that works even in remote areas. Basically, this is not just a repackaged foreign app, it is something built for how India actually moves. And if Mappls can prove that it's as reliable as Google Maps and keeps improving its accuracy and features, we could be looking at the beginning of India's first truly homegrown digital infrastructure layer. Moving on to some quick news updates. Muse Wearables, an IT Madras incubated startup, has partnered with NPCI to launch Ring 1, a smart payment ring that works with India's UPI network. This ring connects directly to the payment system without the need of any phone or a card and lets users make tap-to-pay transactions instantly. And with this, Muse is bringing wearable payments mainstream, turning a simple accessory into a secure digital wallet on your finger. Next up, the IndiaAI mission has invited startups to build an AI-powered facial recognition tool to prevent cheating and duplicate entries in public exams. And under this face authentication challenge, the top 2 teams could win contracts up to 1 crore rupees. Next up, Skyroot Aerospace has successfully tested its orbital adjustment module for its Vikram 1 rocket, a key system that helps satellite get placed precisely into the orbit. The company has also partnered with Germany's Exolaunch to deploy satellites on its Vikram rockets, offering end-to-end services for global clients. Alright, now let's move into the funding news segment for today's video. This week, Indian startups raised a total of $207 million, which is lower than last week's $226 million. And now let's look at some of the companies that have raised funds this week. The first one I want to talk about is Mumbai-based audio content platform Kuku FM. Think of it like Netflix, but for audio content like audiobooks, podcasts, and original stories that you can listen in Hindi and other Indian languages. And they have raised $85 million in their Series D round. Following that, we have a Mumbai-based wealth management platform called Deserve, which helps you manage and grow your money smartly. Think of it like having a personal wealth manager in your pocket. It reviews your portfolio for you, it tells you which funds are doing well and which ones aren't, and gives you clear tips on what to do next. And they've raised $40 million in their Series C round. After that, we have Bengaluru-based Airbound, which is building super efficient drones to make deliveries ridiculously cheap and fast, starting with hospitals. Think of it like this. Instead of sending a bike to deliver blood samples or medicines across town, Airbound uses drones that take off like rockets and fly like airplanes. Right now, they're testing daily medicine deliveries with Narayana Health, proving the tech before scaling to groceries and parcels. And they've raised $8.6 million in their seed round. Next, we have Bengaluru-based Chara Technologies, which makes electric motors without using rare earth metals. And this is a big deal because most motors today are made using these rare earth metals, which are expensive, environmentally harmful, and controlled by few countries like China. And they've raised 52 crore rupees or $6 million in their Series A round to scale up their production capacity from 20,000 to 100,000 motors annually. And finally, we have Gurugram-based Dasham Labs, which is a material innovation studio. And they are making advanced, super light and fire resistance insulation material using silica aerogel sheet that can handle extreme temperature from -150 degrees Celsius to 1000 degrees. And these will be used in industries like construction, electric vehicles, aerospace and energy to improve safety and withstand extreme temperatures. And they've raised 12 crore rupees or $1.37 million in their seed round. Alright, that's all I have for you in this video. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one.